안녕하세요.
맛있게 드세요.
So, thank you. What'd you get? Salt bread. Wow. Nom nom nom. Mm. Mm. Very nice. Hello.
영상 워낙 잘 보았고 테이프 워낙 좋고 저희가
Cool.
Thank you so much.
감사합니다. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. We'll see you next week.
So adorable. Okay, so we're having watermelon.
Yep.
I'm really curious, so I'm gonna try it.
Cool. Cute. You're gonna try first.
The sweet corn, so I'm very curious. It's actually really good.
The watermelon's pretty nice.
So there's like on the fourth floor there's a photo spot.
We are children. As we move into the final portion of this gaming phase, and this is week 31 of this, it basically means that we have about
En route to Namsong Tower. This is the most outback tracking to Namsong Tower I've ever done. And I mean, look, this is only the second time, so we got no idea where Nicole is leading us to right now.
Look, I mean, we're on track, apparently.
We're following Navamap.
Apparently, it's quite interesting. This is the fastest, easiest route.
Easiest? What? It's like, alright, if you want to go to civilization, you go to the station.
This is
If
us.
you want to go to Seoul Tower,
Come
you're
here.
going to have to navigate through the jungle. Up here. Oh, look, thank God. They've got a emergency button here. I wonder if they'll bring carbohydrates.
So we came around this way.
Cool.
So we went all the way through the jungle.
How good. We have the shiny box.
Yeah, last time. And it's
So we're currently up on Namsong Tower, and we were here last year, and we set up a love heart with our initials on it, and it was removed. So we are doing another one right now.
round 2.
All right, let's go.
This is what we're dealing with.
Cute.
I think last time it said Daniel loves Nicole, so maybe we should do it the other way around.
Yeah, we're gonna need to set it up somewhere where we know it's
Okay,
not gonna be.
so
removed.
it's not allowed to be on the top rings, which I think is what we did last time. In. We've in.
Locked in. Cute. Oh look, it's lit up. Pink.
My contest prep as well in terms of wanting to listen to stuff that would perhaps be more mindset orientated, like things that could keep you confident. If I had to also recommend like an audiobook there, The Confident Mind by Nate Zimter. That basically wraps things up, guys. I think that's been a good allotment of questions here, and I think a good allotment of topics. So if you loved today's episode, remember to give us a 5-star review. And we will certainly see you in the next episode.
Salt bread. The obsession is real. Let's go.
You can smell this place from like a mile away. It's some good stuff.
I will.
Thank you.
Ting.
It's just as good as the first time.
Yeah. It's like super light. It's definitely not as heavy as like a normal croissant. It's very fluffy.
And the salt is just perfect.
In my life like this, in my life like this, and sometimes.
This is where Nicole wants to go, and this is where I want to go. Which one's that? It smells good.
It's called the flat shoes.
The flat shoes. What? That sounds good. Store follows us everywhere, right? Like,
It's not us. Matching.
We made it, baby. Binsu, let's go. Wow. Hello, 안녕하세요. All right, next location, Busan. Let's go.
Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. Don't make a sound when I shut the door. Don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day.
아. 등신이라고 그러죠?
Nice. Looks so yum. Alright, where are we heading, baby?
We're about to catch a train to Busan with no zombies. If you know, you know.
No zombies. I don't know how much I'd survive, to be honest. I ain't running anywhere. Fuck, literally kilometers of uphill hauling of these suitcases. God damn. Whew.
We're dripping.
Fuck. welcome to Busan. Now we got into Busan late last night, sort of 8-9 o'clock in the PM, and today it is Saturday 16th of August. Now we are here for, I believe, roughly around sort of 9 to 10 days, which, you know, we're very excited about because Busan is, I believe, the second largest city in South Korea. And it's very beachside, like beachside culture. So there's a lot of beautiful cafes and restaurants by the water. There's plenty of amazing scenic aspects to this beautiful city that we want to immerse ourselves within. And of course, we want to get in some awesome training sessions as well. So today is really just about setting the foundations. We're probably going to go shopping, get some coffee straight up, and basically just, you know, set ourselves up for the next, you know, 9 to 10 days. But because we have no groceries as of this morning, of course, we are heading down to the local konbini, CU. I mean, these konbinis are absolute lifesavers. So we're gonna get some chicken, gonna get some water, basically just gonna get out our essentials, if anything. But let's get into an awesome first day in Busan. Two iced Americanos. Alright, so we are going to Glitz Nail to book in Nicole's nail appointment for this week. And of course, your boy needs to get some cows in, so he is going to the CU to get some food. Let's go.
You almost need to close your eyes.
Oh, I got Shinji's dad.
Close, but not quite exactly what we wanted.
Still cute though. Korea is miles ahead of us. Look at this. Cold steam. It's like a beacon of light for Nicole. What'd you get?
Something that I've been wanting for a long time. It's not anything fitness related by any means, but a skincare device.
Beautiful. I actually bought it for Nicole as an appreciation for her immense love and support through the course of my season, so. 안녕하세요. 아, 감사합니다. Cool. I reckon go red. No. What do we win? Yoo-hoo! What is it, Miffy? Yeah. On the first try as well.
We won't talk about any other things.
I think I've spent about $70. This is beautiful. Look at our roasted almond. Bloody cookie, wow.
Two of those then. Fresh peanut ice. Yes, please. Fresh ice.
Thank you so much.
잠깐만 차게를.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
17일.
아빠.
Welcome to the end of the week number 2 Korean video log. Now, one thing that I haven't been doing as regularly and that I probably should be doing is, I guess, updating in respect to the training and nutrition component, because I think most individuals that are watching these videos are invested in my journey a little bit more from a bodybuilding perspective as opposed to sort of a travel and exploration perspective. Definitely have been so immersed in the Korean trip in terms of the exploration component that I've not really updated, things as much on the training front, on the nutrition front. So I kind of wanted to use this this video just to detail a little bit more in that respect. So as a bit of a kind of an overview, to the week, essentially from the Monday through to the Friday, we finished up our first component of the trip in Seoul. And as you can see, basically the ways in which the days are conducted there, like check-ins in the morning from a coaching perspective, I'm always making sure that I'm prioritizing my athletes, first up in the day, making sure that I'm getting onto check-ins. And that's because those individuals, some of them are in contest preparation. And of course, any relation to updates, training, nutrition, steps, sleep, etc. I think it's better off to get those recommendations forth, nice and early in the day. So that obviously these athletes can action those recommendations, on that day. Then basically we head into, our training session. Now, training for me, I would have to admit, I've been a little bit more flexible with respect to the training front. I have shifted my volumes a little bit more in caderance of, or to cater for, I guess, a little bit more quad, volume, and keeping in, a ton of back volume in terms of frequency, but it's basically 3 times a week frequency for back and also quads, which is why you're probably seeing me doing almost like full body training splits 5 days a week. It's not quite full body in nature because three times a week I'm prioritizing back and more sort of squat and quad based patterns, and then 2 a week frequency in terms of hinges, so hamstring, glutes, and more pressing, shoulder and like chest volume as well. It's a bit of an abnormal split than what most bodybuilders would do. I guess most individuals are either putting forth like a push-pull lower muscle group split or 3 upper 2 lower, something like that. I've always enjoyed a little bit more sort of higher frequency with respect to training, which is why I've put forth this kind of style of I guess training. And I guess what literature showcases for us is that as long as volumes are matched within the week, hypertrophy outcomes seem to be rather similar. So we can get creative in terms of our frequency approach, with respect to training, and that's why I approach my training a little bit differently to, I guess, most conventional bodybuilders in terms of their training split. But I'm definitely being a little bit more flexible with regards to the training front in terms of exercise selection, and that's because training at different gyms. So obviously with different gyms, you've got access to different equipment. There's definitely novelty in trialing different equipment. You see a new piece when you walk into the gym, a bit like a kid in a playground. You see something new and novel and you're like, man, I want to give this a crack. So the sacrifice there is that it's a little bit more challenging to be able to determine progression within a program block if the exercises are essentially changing, or at least the equipment's changing, even despite the movement pattern remaining similar. But it's a sacrifice I'm willing to take as a part of immersing myself within this trip and, experiencing different gyms in different places, around the world. So that's kind of where the training front is. And then moving on to steps. Now, essentially with steps, it's funny, I usually would walk around 10K steps, like in my typical contest prep. That's usually what my target has been, 10 to 12K. Now that I'm in Korea, I'm walking 20 to 25K steps each and every day. And that's just because we are, making the most of the time that we're here and exploring a ton. So funny enough, and I'll get onto the nutrition component in a moment, but my body weight is rather stable. Hey, and I do need to push things up a little bit more in terms of the nutritional front. I haven't necessarily been going out of my way to get more steps. It's just a product of the increased need, in exploring different parts of South Korea and Busan and Seoul. So nutritionally, where things are at the moment, I am definitely putting forth like more flexibility, right, in terms of the tracking component. The way in which I approach things is that my breakfast, my pre and post training remains stable, remains similar. So for me, breakfast is always like protein oats with fruit and maybe some eggs on the side. And then essentially pre-training is some simplistic carbohydrates, usually things like lollies. And I'll actually try and get in a little bit of a protein feed prior to, like I used to have yogurt when I was back home in Australia. But now I'm actually just having like 2 small shakes from the Konbini, which equates to around 50 grams of protein or so. And then it's usually like fruit, a banana, some lollies, just keeping it simple. Post-training, I tend to take with me a cream of wheat meal. So I take with me in my backpack, some utensils, some scales, and I usually go to the Konbini and I get some like some fruit, banana, blueberries, or whatever fruit they've got access to that I can utilize for that particular meal. And then dinner is probably the meal that I've been a little bit more flexible with when it comes to enjoying that, with Nicole and immersing ourselves within the culture, here and trialing different things. But mostly what we are consuming at this point in time is things like, shabu, Japanese hot pot, Korean barbecue, bibimbap, which is like, basically like steak and rice bowl. Some sweets being like mochi and stuff like that, and salt bread, which we love. But funnily enough, keeping the foods pretty kind of quote unquote, don't like the word, but clean, in terms of the sources, which is probably why my body weight trends have not really budged a whole lot. My conditioning is still very much there, despite the fact that I'm likely consuming close to around 4,000 calories, which is likely 1,000 above my predicted maintenance. Now, that being said, because my step count is so high, my predicted maintenance should in theory be higher than what it was when I was walking 10K. So, I'm definitely in a position where I can likely nudge my nutrition up a little bit more assertively, but I was a little bit more on the conservative side in terms of how much I push things up initially because of the fact that I would be employing more nutritional flexibility. There would be untracked meals. I would do my best to estimate, in terms of what I'm consuming, but, realistically, the BLTs, the bites, the licks, the taste, like there's going to be some there. There's going to be probably more calories in what I give credit for when it comes to tracking something like salt bread or a bibimbap or Korean barbecue or something like this for hidden oils, condiments, spices, etc. So that's kind of where things are at. Moving into the 3rd week of the Korean, vlog series, definitely will have to look at nudging my nutrition up a little bit more. But conditioning is still in place and still got some lines, definitely. Still got lines in the glutes, still got lines in the legs, still got, tightness through the midsection. So, if I want to gain some, decent weight now into the off season, I'm going to have to, look at increasing things up a little bit more. But it's almost like, do I just jump into another show? Fuck it. Just kidding. But it's definitely interesting that I haven't really gained a whole lot of weight so far in terms of, the recovery phase process. And that's because I haven't necessarily given credit for just the sheer amount of, increase to NEAT and energy expenditure that would be facilitated through, exploring. So that's kind of where, things are at this point in time. As I mentioned, moving into this next video log, into the week number 3 of the Korean vlog series, I will try and be a little bit more detailed in respect to what training nutrition looks like, but absolutely, we are loving the trip thus far, and it certainly is an incredible experience to kind of wrap up the competitive season. So hope everyone is doing incredibly. Appreciate all your support through the course of these YouTube vids. Really enjoying, updating everyone in terms of where I'm at in the journey, and appreciate, the love and support. Let's get into another awesome week.